All right, everybody, so you want to book a car on Turo and you want to know what are some of the most important things to look for when you are booking a car on Turo. Today I want to talk about the top 5 things to look for when you are going to book a car, so this way you get the most bang for your buck. Let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. So today I want to talk about the top 5 things that you should be looking for when you are booking a car on Turo. So this way you are getting the best car, the best possible host that you can find, and thoroughly enjoy your Turo experience. Now, as I mentioned these, I will say that this is just my opinion, based on the experiences that I've gone through when it comes to booking cars on Turo. But I definitely think that these 5 things are important for you to look for when you are booking a car, and it will save you a lot of headache when you are booking one of these cars. Now, this is gonna sound really silly as far as my number 5 reason, but part of the Turo experience is you know the car that you are booking. This is not like when you book with the big rental car companies when it says you're gonna get a Nissan Sentra or similar. You know the car that you are booking. So I'm gonna say the number 5 thing to look for when booking on Turo is know the car you're gonna book. You have the opportunity to pick the individual car that you want, whether it's one that you are comfortable driving, that you've already driven before, or if it's a car that you have never driven before and want to experience for the first time. Now, there are more things to look for when you are booking the individual car, but know the car that you're going to book. Don't book a car that you think is historically unreliable, or book a 12-year-old car that you don't feel comfortable driving. Know the car you're going to book before you book it. Number 4 would be mileage. Now, there are some cars on the Turo platform with mileage limits. They can limit as low as 200 miles per day. If you are a local renter and you are planning on taking long road trips, or even if you are visiting and you plan on doing a tour of the state or wherever you're planning on going, make sure that you know how much mileage you think you're going to be driving, and if you're prepared to pay the over mileage fees if the car has a low amount of miles allotted per day. Now, most of my cars have unlimited miles because I don't want any renters thinking about how many miles they have to drive. That can be a double-edged sword because you can have people that drive 2,000 miles in a span of 7 days, or you can have people that drive 200 or 300 miles in a span of 7 days. In my experience, most of my rentals are coming from the airport, so they are driving very, very little unless they're doing a long drive around the state. And even if that's the case, I've had cars driven maybe around 1,000 miles in a week, and that doesn't happen with every single rental, so I am perfectly comfortable with leaving it as it is. So know your mileage and how much you anticipate driving before you go ahead and book. That is available right on the listing. You can see it right there. Number 3 on the list, I would say, is the description of and the price of your delivery. So many of you watching this may be flying in to pick up a car and are considering booking a car from the airport. Every host has a different experience when it comes to bookings with delivery. Some people will meet you at the airport. Some people will have a contactless check-in where you open the car with a lockbox and a key inside. There are others where they can unlock the car remotely for you. So pay attention to that when you are looking at the description as far as how the car is going to be delivered to you and how you are going to access the car. More important than that is also the price. Some hosts can offer free delivery for either a certain amount of time, or they'll just offer free delivery in general, depending on the booking that you have. So that's one to look out for. Look for hosts that maybe offer free delivery. But in a lot of cases, if the price of the car is right and the delivery fee factors in and it's still a decent price, then you can still book it with the delivery cost included. Delivery charges are as much as $120, so that is something that you want to look for when you are booking the car. One thing to keep an eye out for when you are booking the car on Turo, before you get to the confirmation screen, it's going to give you one price. And then when you get to the second screen, it will include all of the fees, including delivery. So that number will look different than what was on the initial screen. A lot of the fees have things to do with driving history of the individual, how long is the trip, the amount of risk involved. Turo dictates all of that. That is not something that we as hosts dictate when it comes to the fees. The only fee that we have control of is the actual delivery fee. So keep an eye out for that when you are booking a car yourself as well. Number 2 on the list, I'd say the second most important thing to be looking at is trip count for your host. There are good hosts out there that have low trip counts. I'm not going to say that the higher the trip count, the better the host. But you do want to factor that into consideration when you are booking a car of, do I need the most seamless experience because I'm traveling with the family, or I'm traveling for work, or whatever the case may be, or do I have a little bit of patience and I'm okay with waiting, or I'm okay with dealing with a newer host that's still trying to learn the ropes of Turo. So you'll be able to see trip counts for the car, and you will be able to see trip counts for the host. For example, my car that has the highest amount of trip counts is my 2020 Toyota Corolla. It is around maybe 112, 113 trips at the time of this video, but my overall trip count is close to 700. So I have had almost 700 trips on Turo as a host with all of my vehicles. So just because a car has a lower trip count does not mean that that host does not have experience hosting trips. So scroll down to the bottom, look for the host, and see how many trips they have done overall on Turo. That will help give you some peace of mind if you are looking at a car that has a lower trip count. Maybe it's a new car that the host got. Maybe it's one that doesn't get rented often. But either way, you are able to see the experience that the host has when you are deciding whether or not to book this car. And the number one, I'd say, most important thing that you're going to look for when booking a car on Turo is ratings. When you look at a host page, it is going to tell you what their star rating is. If they're at a 5-star rating and they have a lot of trips, chances are they may have had a few less than 5-star trips. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see their actual rating. Now, I find it important to look at verbatims for the hosts, so this way you can see what you are getting yourself into. Just because somebody has a 5-star rating does not necessarily mean that they are always delivering 5-star experiences. So just like a product, when you are looking at something and you see the less than 5-star rating and you're wondering what the verbatim was, look at those as well. Look at the 5-star ratings, because sometimes they mention some things in the 5-star ratings. A lot of times our guests are just gracious to us and give 5-star ratings when maybe something happened during the trip that was a problem. So read as many of them as you feel comfortable before you decide that you're going to book with that particular host. I will say for all of mine, I have had some 4-star experiences, and I respond to every one of my ratings regardless of what they are, unless somebody did not leave a verbatim. But I am always seeking feedback for those that give me less than 5 stars. Not every experience is going to be perfect, and I will learn and I will grow, so this way I deliver the best experience for every guest. But I take great pride in my ratings because I want to make sure that every guest that is booking one of my cars is going to have the best experience possible, because while yes, this is a business and yes, I need to make money, I am also a part of a guest's experience. And also be on the lookout for these, which means a host has canceled trips on a guest. Too many of these is no bueno. Don't book a trip with this host. So that is our top 5 things to look for when booking a car on Turo. As I mentioned, just to recap, number 5 would be simply the car. Number 4 would be the mileage. Number 3 would be the description and the price overall of your delivery. Number 2 would be the trip count for the host and the vehicle. And number 1 would be the ratings. What did you think of this list? Leave a comment down below and tell us what you thought, or if you've had experiences on Turo that you think are important to talk about, let us know. Not every Turo experience is going to be great. So if you hear anybody, or if you see anybody even leaving a comment saying that they had a bad experience on Turo, unfortunately, I'm going to be transparent, that can happen. Just like if you've gone in line at Hertz or Avis or any of these other companies and dealing with experiences with them getting a car that has maintenance required or tire pressure lights or doesn't smell good, those things are inevitably going to happen. So definitely know that that can be a possibility, just like any other experience that you go through. So don't let those experiences that others go through become a deterrent that prevents you from trying out Turo. We are all individuals trying to rent out our vehicles and create great experiences for our guests. And if you have a host that is delivering less than that, then definitely show them that in their ratings and explain it to them. And if they don't learn from it, then you know what? Eventually they are going to get it, or they're going to leave the platform because it's not going to be sustainable for them. Now that is going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this content, please give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you enjoy watching our business and watching all of this content and just learning more about Turo in general and learning a little bit more about us. If you are visiting Jacksonville and you are looking to rent a car, please visit achuerentals.com. We have everything from small compact cars, and we are getting more and more different class vehicles. Our Crosstrek is available, which is an absolutely beautiful car. You will enjoy that one very much. And we still have our beautiful minivan. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day.